Another weekend of violence is leaving its mark on Charlotte communities. CMPD says it's investigating several shootings from over the weekend. 2 of those were deadly. Another one put 3 people in the hospital. WCNC Charlotte's Jesse Pierre is in North Charlotte, where police say they're all ready to increase security.
We were here just a few hours ago when this surveillance tower was just added, and some business owners and employees I spoke to say they hope that it helps deter some of that criminal activity here. An extra eye of security now stands inside this parking lot off West Sugar Creek and Mallard Creek roads in North Charlotte.
It gives a sense of security for the community, for the elderly people, for everybody else that is out here. That's what it's all about.
That is the lot where local businesses say a street takeover came together early Sunday morning, ending in a shooting. According to CMPD, 3 people between the ages of 18 and 21 were hurt. This was one of several shootings Sunday. CMPD also investigating a deadly shooting in West Charlotte where 20-year-old Wesley Guerra was killed. Hours later in Northwest Charlotte, a shooting left 2 people dead. Folks taken back by the violence rocking their communities.
I don't know what it's tied to, but it is really outrageous. It's crazy.
Would love to understand from the people that are doing the shooting, what's the problem and why is there so much shooting going on?
The surveillance tower is a welcomed addition, but some are looking to their communities for more action.
Until somebody takes a firm stand with folks with guns and get an understanding on where these young people's heads are at, I mean, it's going to continue, unfortunately.
Anyone with information on any of these shootings is asked to contact police. Jesse Pierre, WCNC Charlotte.
Since these fires broke out, you might have heard us talking about what percentage, right, that they're contained or not contained, but do you actually know what containment means?
We had Megan Bragg on Live Impact News to explain it, but first, there's a major difference between containing a fire versus a fire being out. WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg verifies for us tonight.
Well, this is the graph of some of those fires burning in South Carolina right now, and it can be confusing when we read off the percentages of a fire that is contained. So let's break it all down for you. Our sources for this is the U.S. Forest Service and the Western Fire Chiefs Association. So let's take a look at these 3 words that you've probably been hearing since the start of these fires. It's contained, controlled, and out. Now, according to the U.S. Forest Service, a fire is contained when the fire is encircled by constructed fire lines made by fire crews or fuel breaks, which are roads, streams, or something natural that would stop a fire. When this happens, there is an expectation that the fire will not cross these lines. So, for example, when we say the fire is 20% contained, that means some combination of fire lines and fuel breaks surround 20% of that fire. However, that does not mean the fire is 20% out. It just means those lines are expected to stop the spread of fire. When it comes to a fire being controlled, that means it's 100% contained by those fire lines, and crews have extinguished flames and removed unburnt fuels about 300 feet inside the fire line perimeter. But you're still not out of the woods yet, because hot spots do remain and crews continue to watch the fire. When a fire is out, that means there are no hot spots and no smoke detected within the line for at least 48 hours. Large wildfires are often watched and patrolled until a significant amount of rainfall. Now, if you have any more questions on these fires, send me an email to verify@WCNC.com. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
WCNC Charlotte is making a difference with your help. When you share your news tips, we go to work.
I sent you that email. 15 minutes later, you're responding to me.
When a Charlotte woman battling cancer lost her health coverage, we demanded answers.
Within hours of WCNC Charlotte asking questions, the agency responsible quickly corrected its mistake.
Let us get to work for you.
Reach out to news tips at WCNC.com. WCNC Charlotte, news that impacts you.
Tonight we have a story of heroism. As we speak, 2 people are recovering after driving off of a cliff into a creek in North Charlotte Monday night. We actually brought you this as breaking news at 11 o'clock on our 11 o'clock newscast. This is the next chapter in that story. Witnesses say the pair were in a cookout drive-through, and when leaving, they went off the side of that drop-off. And so you can see in this video their car upside down, and there's strangers working to pull them out. Tonight, WCNC Charlotte's Austin Walker spoke with those 3 men who sprung into action, who say that they're thankful they were there.
Monday night, a car with 2 people inside fell off this cliff. Pieces of the car still right here. This is the underneath of it, and also floorboards are still in the water. They say the car was upside down and 2 people could not get out, but that's when 3 now friends were at the right place at the right time.
Eric?
It's truly unexpected.
We all met each other a week ago as well. On the internet, yeah.
Starting with their friendship.
I saw him on TikTok.
Each with their own window cleaning company in different parts of the U.S., Caleb urging others to come to Charlotte to make money together.
Booked that flight. Yeah, I literally booked a flight, not knowing this guy like in person, never met him.
There for a week, with a Monday that nothing seemed to go as planned. Alexander forced to play a game of basketball.
I suck at basketball.
Eventually working up an appetite.
The closest thing to us was wings. I couldn't send the address to my other friend.
Unexpectedly ending up here at a North Charlotte cookout.
We're next in line, and then a car in the drive-thru just revs on the gas. Everyone hears it. This person turned right over a curb and then just like disappeared.
Alexander saying he sprung into action.
It was just kind of like, it just felt like instinct.
He jumped over the drive-thru railing.
Propelling down the at least 20-foot drop, trying to get the driver out.
Me and him, AJ, we're screaming our heads off, trying to get these doors just to open a little bit.
And he's holding her head just barely above the water where her nose and her mouth is just out of the water so she's breathing. And he's trying to comfort her like, it's okay, it's okay.
They got them out of the flipped over car, partially submerged in water. But don't forget, others also came to Charlotte to make money and clean windows.
And a bunch of our other buddies in there made a human chain with their arms like linked together to help pull them out of the steep mountain.
A day where everything seemed to go wrong.
Just a last-minute decision.
Until something went right.
Yeah, I'm glad we went to cookout.
It's how unexpected moments intersect.
If we weren't there, it could have went differently for sure.
You can surely expect the next time they shoot hoops together.
They have to play basketball with me every time now. Yeah.
They'll think back on this unexpected Monday, thankful that almost everything in their day went wrong. The 3 men also tell me they hope the 2 people who were inside that car are doing okay and recovering, and they hope to meet them this time under better circumstances. For now in North Charlotte, Austin Walker, WCNC Charlotte.
We turn meantime right now to this clock ticking down for thousands of immigrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela after they were granted humanitarian parole. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security is ending the protections under this program, and it's directing recipients to leave the country in just a few weeks.
WCNC Charlotte's Jessie Pierre is in Uptown. She spoke with a humanitarian parolee about what's at stake.
We first spoke to this parole recipient just over a month ago, and back then he was already on the edge of his seat because the program was suspended. And now he's facing a deadline, and the country he once saw as a land of opportunity and refuge is telling him to pack up and go. I spoke to an immigration attorney who says all hope is not lost. For Robert, this notice by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security isn't just paperwork. It's an eviction from the life he built.
It's very uncomfortable, that situation that people are in.
The agency is terminating parole for recipients like Robert, who spoke with us over the phone.
To a human perspective, it's very cruel to a certain extent.
Robert arrived legally under the Biden administration's humanitarian parole program, got work authorization, and built a life here in Mecklenburg County. He was initially protected through December of 2025. Now that date is being erased. Humanitarian parolees from Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Haiti, where he is from, who received this letter must leave the U.S. by April 24th. If not, they risk deportation. Immigration attorney David Concha says many of his clients are devastated.
Put yourself in that position and to say all of a sudden, you came in believing, okay, I can start, making connections, growing, establishing roots, and all of a sudden now I'm uprooted. So it's not that easy.
He says there may still be legal options.
Does this person have employment at such a level that maybe they qualify for something called an H-1B visa? Other outstanding family petitions that may have been filed on their behalf. Are they from a country where there's turmoil and maybe they could pursue asylum? So these are things that we might want to consider before we just up and self-deport.
Robert, like many others, are weighing their options, but he may still be forced to go back to Haiti, a country currently under turmoil with civil unrest and gang violence. The reason he was approved in the humanitarian parole program in the first place.
Knowing that the situation in Haiti is pretty much worse than the way it was a year or 2 years before, so it's really bad faith. I feel like there's no other way to put it.
Immigration experts say the best move now is to seek legal advice before time runs out. Jessie Pierre, WCNC Charlotte.
When severe weather impacts the Carolinas, you can help us tell the story.
Our radar helps to keep you weather aware, along with images like these. Here's how to send us a video or picture of conditions impacting your area.
Make sure you're in a safe spot. Take a picture or video, then send it to the Near Me feature on our WCNC News app.
Your image could be part of our weather impact coverage. Download the WCNC News app now.
And we start tonight with that reignited search for Aisha Degree, 25 years after she went missing. Today, investigators swarmed to a Lincoln County property, searching the area as the community continues to remain hopeful for a conclusion in this case. WCNC Charlotte's Siobhan Riley spoke with Aisha's father about his hopes for this case.
This billboard is a reminder of the $45,000 reward that's being offered to anyone who knows what happened to Aisha Degree. People in this community tell me they are not giving up until this case is solved.
Still hold out that little hope that she's out there somewhere.
Brenda Bomer drives past this billboard off Highway 150 in Cherryville every day. She says there's not a day that goes by that she doesn't think about Aisha Degree, who disappeared on Valentine's Day 25 years ago during a severe rainstorm.
Still think about your own kids when something like this happens to somebody. You think about, what would I do if it happened to me?
Investigators searched the property in Lincoln County. Records show the previous owner was Roy Dedman. Last month, we told you the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office said back in September, a man spoke with detectives saying he recalled a time when one of Dedman's daughters made claims that she killed Aisha Degree. Rebecca Hopper is close friends with Aisha's family. Hopper was home when she got the news about Aisha's disappearance. The latest update in this case still has her asking a lot of questions.
I think about the family, and how they've been feeling and what's been going on in their lives, wondering if she's dead or alive.
Jacqueline Green, who was Aisha's cousin, told us over the phone she remembered Aisha ushering at Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church February 14th in 2000 before the 9-year-old disappeared that night.
I still always have my hope, always at the end of the day. I don't never give up hope. Anything could be, just keep on my faith and hope, and I pray that they do as well.
Hopper, who has been following this case since the beginning, says she can't understand why it's taking investigators so long to solve this mystery. But she says this billboard gives her some confidence that she and family members will get the closure they need.
And I'm hoping and praying that this mystery will be solved this time.
Now, I did speak with Aisha's father at his home today. He did not want to talk on camera, but he did tell me he is not losing hope, and he is encouraging anyone who knows something to speak up. In Cherryville, Siobhan Riley, WCNC Charlotte.
Now, we have been covering these developments all day on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. In fact, breaking new developments throughout the day for those folks who are streaming with us. If you've not heard of this yet, we wanted to take a moment to talk about this. It's a brand new streaming concept where we bring you live, raw updates as they come in. Deeper insights as well that we might not always have time for on television. In fact, earlier today, I was one of many guests joining our Nick Sturdivant this afternoon, sharing how Aisha's case has made an impact on this community and on us too. And hers was one of the first cases that I became acquainted with when I started here at WCNC Charlotte just before the 20-year anniversary of her disappearance.
I started here with WCNC Charlotte in January of 2020. And we know that we mark Aisha's case. We usually tend to resurface her case on Valentine's Day every year. And so that was one of the first cases long-standing cases, if you will, that I became acquainted with when I moved here to Charlotte. Having started in January 2020, that was the year that they marked 20 years of her disappearance. They released that age progression photo showing her what she would look like if she were a young woman today. And I remember looking at that photo and going, she should be a young woman. That should be a real picture of her. Yeah. But we just don't know if she's alive. At the time, we didn't know. And it made me really sad. And it embedded that story in my mind.
And we know that story is sitting with so many in the community, in addition to, of course, the family. Lots of folks wanting answers here. We do invite you to stick around after this newscast. If you are watching us right now on WCNC Plus, streaming us, we would like for you to join us as we look into the archives of our coverage of Aisha Degree's case from over the years. To watch, just add WCNC Plus to your smart TV or favorite streaming device, and you can watch for free.
I stuck it out to the end.
Faced with the same foe, others might have folded, but this woman fought one of the country's largest debt collectors and won a significant settlement, nearly